Hey y'all, it's Raegan. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hit that red button down below. Join the family. I post new videos twice a week. If you don't know who I am, my name is Raegan and I live and go to college in New York City and I make YouTube videos. So today's video is going to be a little different than the videos that I typically make. I have actually been making this video off for a while just because I had to get so many people's approvals before I put it out there in the world for you guys to see. There's been a lot going on lately. A lot has been going on since probably about end of January, beginning of February. Just a lot that I've actually been keeping from y'all and I'm ready to share it. I'm actually very nervous and very excited to share this with y'all. I've been wanting to for so long, and like some people kind of know already, some people don't know yet, so that's why I'm making this video. And it's also going to be like the first video in this journey because I want to remember it all, and so creating this video is kind of like step one in this process of like creating this diary. So without further ado, I'm going to be telling y'all the secret that I've been keeping. This summer, I am going to be backpacking across Europe for 2 months with my best friends, Sydney and Paris. To some, that may not seem like a lot, but I'm going to break it down for you, and by the time we've gone in depth to this whole thing, you're probably going to be in awe and shock, just like I was and still am to this day. But let's get into the story. So back at the end of January, beginning of February, my friend Sydney approached me and she was like, Raegan, I really want to go on a trip this summer. It's our last summer before we graduate and have to get real jobs. And I was like, I don't know, Sydney, I kind of want to get a job this summer and like stay in New York. And she ended up getting Paris to join her on this trip. I still was like, no, I just don't think I can do it. Every time we would hang out, she would just like keep bringing up the trip to me, and she'd be like, Raegan, it's gonna be so much fun. We're gonna get to see so many places and it's just gonna be a good experience. And I was like thinking about it. I was like, yeah, it would be really cool, but I just don't know. And then she started going into the details of the trip, like, yeah, we're just going to be living out of a backpack and it's going to be 2 months long and we're doing it very budget friendly. I was like, yeah, I don't know if that's me. So come 1st of February, me and Sydney were sitting in a coffee shop and she was like, Raegan, please come on this trip with me. And I was like, okay, Sydney, I will. So right then, I booked my one-way ticket to London. I actually booked the ticket before even asking my mom or dad about going. After I booked it, I was like, I should probably ask. Even though I'm 20 years old and I'm pretty much an adult, I thought I owed that to my parents. So I called my mom and kind of was like, Mom, can I go on a backpacking trip this summer for 2 months? And at first she was like, OMG, like, Raegan, are you crazy? And she finally was like, that's going to be a great experience. If I were in your shoes, I would do it. And I was like, okay, great. Thank you, Mom. I haven't actually been able to share this with y'all until like just now because I was holding off telling my dad. He was probably the one I was most worried about, just like accepting the fact that I was going to be gone for like 2 months. I just wasn't sure how he was going to take it because he is like very protective. He's definitely like, America, you don't need to go anywhere else, and he hates to fly, so he doesn't go anywhere that he can't drive to, and you definitely cannot drive to Europe. But I did end up telling him, and that is why I'm making this video now, to finally share it with y'all because he knows. That is past us. Okay, let's get into the trip details. Like I said, I am going to be backpacking through Europe for 2 months, 7.5 weeks, 53 days. That's a long time. In total, we are going to be visiting 12 different countries and 23 different cities across Europe. Wow, that is a lot to check off my bucket list. So we leave May 13th, right after finals week, and we fly back July 3rd. And I am also only going to be living out of a backpack for 2 months. On this trip, we are going to be doing it very budget friendly. And so we're actually staying in hostels. If you don't know what a hostel is, it is almost like a hotel / dormitory kind of setup where a lot of college students, young travelers will stay in these like open rooms full of bunk beds, and you can choose between like all-female bunk bed dorms or co-ed bunk bed dorms. If you've ever been to camp, it's a lot like camp. It's a lot like college dorms, but it's super, super affordable. Usually it's like about $20 a night, which is absolutely incredible. And then we're also staying in some Airbnbs. Just depends on the place and like if we could find good, safe hostels or not. Staying in hostels was probably like one of the biggest things I was very unsure about on this trip. But I actually think it's going to be a great experience. It's actually how you meet a ton of other young travelers. So I'm really excited about that. Hopefully we'll meet some great people and make some great memories. Now let's get into the destinations that I'm actually going to be visiting on this trip, which is like the most exciting part. So on May 13th, we are leaving New York City and flying to London. Sydney and I have both been to London before, but our friend Paris has not been. And so we're definitely going to be doing a bunch of touristy stuff so she can kind of get a good taste of what London is like. I absolutely love London. I've talked about in my videos before, if I could live anywhere other than New York, it would probably be London. So I'm so excited to get to visit it again because honestly, when I went 2 years ago, I honestly thought I may never go back, and here I am 2 years later, already bought my plane ticket to go to London. From London, we will be taking a night bus to Paris. Yes, I probably will not be getting any sleep on that trip. All three of us have been to Paris before, but I thought we could not do a Europe trip without visiting Paris. So we're only staying in Paris for like 2 nights, 1 full day, just to see some of the big things like the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre. I've never seen the Mona Lisa, so I'm gonna get to see the Mona Lisa, and I'm very, very, very excited about that. And then from Paris, we are flying to Lisbon, Portugal. None of us have ever been to Portugal before, but from what we can tell, it is absolutely beautiful. So many articles actually say it's one of the most growing and beautiful destinations in Europe that so many people overlook. So we're so excited to get to explore. It's a very hilly city with like beautiful architecture and just a lot of charm and character, and I'm really, really, really excited about Portugal. We'll be there for about 4 days, and then from here on out, we're going to be taking trains to all our destinations. Europe has an amazing train system that connects almost every single country in Europe, and so we bought a train pass to use throughout the trip. We have 2 months unlimited. We can get on as many trains as we want in 2 months, and so trains will be our sole form of transportation for the rest of the trip. We are taking a train from Portugal to Madrid, Spain. I've been wanting to go to Spain for so long. I just think the atmosphere is going to be amazing. The food is going to be amazing, and I cannot wait to see the beautiful architecture. After we stay in Madrid for a few days, we're going to be headed to Barcelona, Spain, which I've heard is like completely different from Madrid. They're 2 completely different cities in the country of Spain, and that you really have to see both to get an understanding of the country. From Barcelona, we're going to be taking a train down to Marseille, which is in the south of France. This is also right near Cannes, if you've heard of Cannes, like the yacht capital of the world. The water's beautiful, the beaches are beautiful, and we're mainly staying in Marseille because there's this hike called the Calanques, and you hike up this mountain and then back down this mountain, and you have this private beach, and you can like cliff jump and swim in the water, and there's usually like yachts and boats parked all around, and it's supposed to be really, really magical. So we're staying in Marseille for a night or 2, and then we're taking another train down to Nice, which is also in the south of France. It's another cute, quaint little beach town where we can just kind of relax and explore and eat some good food and get a nice tan. From Nice, we are going to be headed to Italy, and we're actually going to be making quite a few stops in Italy, and I'm very excited. I am actually the only one out of the group who has been to Italy before, but it was absolutely, absolutely beautiful, and so I am so excited to go back. And we're also hitting up a few spots that I have never been to before. So our first stop in Italy is actually Cinque Terre. So Cinque Terre is this little area in Italy made up of 5 different little towns, and it's all like on cliffs and like hills over the ocean, and it looks absolutely beautiful. We're going to rent a boat and just like ride around the Italian Riviera and soak up the sun, make some great memories, and see all the beautiful villages. We're staying in Cinque Terre for about 3.5 days, and then we're taking a train down to Pisa. Of course, I'm sure all of y'all have heard of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. None of us have ever seen it. I was actually 30 minutes away from it on my last trip to Italy and didn't go see it, and I'm still mad at myself about it. So, of course, we're going to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And then after the Leaning Tower of Pisa, we are taking another train to Florence, Italy. And Florence, Italy is beautiful. It is known for the big Duomo they have and their gelato and their Italian food, of course. So we are just going to explore for a few days and really get a taste of Italy. And then from Florence, we are headed down to Rome, of course. The iconic Rome, probably one of my most favorite places I've ever visited. The Roman Colosseum, you have to see. The Roman Forum, the Sistine Chapel that Michelangelo painted, and where the Pope preaches at St. Peter's Basilica. The Vatican is actually its own country, so when we enter into the Vatican, that will be another country added to our list. And of course, the Trevi Fountain, probably one of the most beautiful pieces of history that I've ever seen in my entire life. Actually, 2 years ago, an Italian woman came up to me and said that if I throw 2 coins over my shoulder into the Trevi Fountain, that I will return it to Italy one day. And here I am going back, y'all. The Trevi Fountain is magic. And after Rome, we are headed up to Venice, Italy. If you have ever seen pictures of Italy, you've probably seen pictures of Venice because it is the little city with all the canals, and you like ride a gondola down it, and they like play music, and it's just supposed to be beautiful and magical. My English teacher from high school actually told me that it was her most favorite place she had ever visited in her entire life, and she's been to a bunch of places, and so I'm so excited. And actually, one of the best parts about it is that my mom and my younger sister Kendall are actually going to be coming to Italy to visit me during this time, because it will be about our halfway mark. It'll be about the beginning of June. And then from Venice, we are headed up to Switzerland. And y'all, Switzerland is going to be absolutely beautiful. Just the beautiful Swiss Alps. There's so many amazing places to hike. There is this rope bridge that I really want to go to. There is this slide down a mountain that we want to do. There's just so many things. There's like hiking it through waterfall tunnels. I am so excited for Switzerland. I also cannot wait to take a train through the Swiss Alps, because I think that's going to be absolutely breathtaking. My mom and sister are going to be staying with us all throughout Switzerland because it is my younger sister's dream place. She's always wanted to go to Switzerland. And so I was like, Mom, Kendall, y'all have to come visit me because I'm going to be there for like almost a week. So we're visiting a few places in Switzerland. We're just going to kind of hop around because Switzerland's such a big country. You kind of have to move around to really get a taste of it. From Switzerland, my mom and sister are going to be leaving me, but we will continue the trip for another month. Me, Sydney, and Paris will be headed up to Munich, Germany. I have never been to Germany before, but I have heard that it is absolutely beautiful and that the architecture and the atmosphere is amazing and just so different from so many other places. There's so many amazing things that I want to see and just experience, and also there's some cool food things that I want to try. After spending some days in Munich, we will be headed up to Vienna, Austria. Vienna, Austria is in Eastern Europe. I've never been anywhere in Eastern Europe, but I'm very excited. It's supposed to be a lot different than the culture in Western Europe, which is like Paris and Portugal. I'm not very familiar with Vienna, Austria, but of course Pinterest always comes in handy, so I have a board of things that I want to see throughout Vienna. It looks absolutely beautiful and just like completely different and beautiful city. From Vienna, we are taking a train to Budapest, Hungary, and there is one thing in Budapest, Hungary that I am so excited to do, and that is swim in the mineral baths. So across Budapest, they have these thermal baths that are actually heated from the ground, and people in Budapest just like swim in them and relax, and it's just like a cultural thing. And y'all, we're legit just spending a whole day jumping around from different mineral baths and swimming in them, and I'm so excited because it's going to be so relaxing and so nice, and I just think it's going to be so cool and such a unique experience. From Budapest, we are taking a train, of course, to Prague in the Czech Republic, and I'm so excited to see I'm so excited to see all these places, but I'm really excited to see Prague because I've seen so many pictures over the years of like what Prague looks like, and it just looks so magical with the red roofs and the white buildings and like the sunsets. I just want to walk around all day and ride bikes and just really experience Prague and the culture and the people and the beautiful scenery. We are nearing the end, only a few more places. After Prague, we are headed up to Berlin, Germany. Berlin is very iconic for many reasons. There's so many things to see, like the Berlin Wall, and there's also some great food things that everyone says you have to eat when you're in Berlin, so of course I'm going to do that. There's some great museums and some iconic buildings and historical historical sites that we're definitely going to be hitting up. And last but not least, we will be headed to Amsterdam, Netherlands. I have always wanted to go to Amsterdam. You've probably seen the iconic picture of Amsterdam with the canal running through it. It is known for riding bikes around, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to rent bikes. We're going to ride around. We're probably going to go to Anne Frank's house, the famous Anne Frank from the Holocaust, and just really experience Amsterdam and its culture. Hopefully there'll be like some tulips and some really cute little coffee shops we can go into and eat pastries, because that's just what you do in Amsterdam, and I'm so excited. And then we'll finally make it to July 3rd, and that is when we will be flying back from Amsterdam to New York, and our trip will come to an end. So from May 13th to July 3rd, I probably will not be sleeping at all, but I know the experiences will be amazing, and it will be something that I will remember for the rest of my life, and I'm so excited that I get to do it with my two best friends. I will be vlogging the whole thing and making videos and taking pictures, so definitely follow me on Instagram and subscribe on YouTube so you won't miss any of the content. I will also appreciate prayers from you guys, because this trip is definitely going to be very challenging and stressful, but also very, very rewarding. And I would just love to have God watching over us throughout this trip and keeping us safe. I know this video was long, but I really wanted to break it down and tell y'all everything about this huge event that is about to happen in my life. If you know me, you probably know that I absolutely love traveling, and so this is like my biggest dream come true, or at least one of my biggest dreams come true, and so I can't believe it's real. Like, I'm so blessed, so grateful for such amazing friends who are willing to do these crazy things with me. Keep me in your prayers, guys. I will see you on my next video. Bye!